7 months after Big Daddy Don Garlits' historic win at the Winter Nationals, he was involved in one of the great Top Fuel finals in U.S. Nationals history on Labor Day weekend 1971. Garlits was racing his rival Steve Carbone. Garlits was favored, but Carbone had a strategy to beat Big Daddy. Carbone's plan to beat Big Daddy was simple. He would refuse to stage his dragster before Garlits. Big Daddy picked up on Carbone's strategy as their cars edged to the starting line and stopped. Neither driver moved. Each was waiting out the other, and the great burn down was underway. Finally, Garlits staged, but the extra time he had waited put more horsepower in his engine, and he overpowered the track as Carbone raced to his first U.S. Nationals title, outfoxing Garlits for one of the very few times in Big Daddy's Hall of Fame career. Following his near-fatal transmission explosion at Lyons Drag Strip in Long Beach, California the year before, Big Daddy Don Garlits vowed he would return to the quarter mile with a successful rear-engine dragster to eliminate that type of accident from happening again. At the 1971 Winter Nationals in Pomona, California, Garlits debuted his new rear-engine machine. After finally perfecting the car's steering ratio, Garlits performed near flawlessly. Many of his racing rivals were less than impressed when Garlits arrived in Pomona with his revolutionary dragster, which had not yet been fitted with a wing, something which would be added later. After qualifying number 9 in the 32-car field, Garlits charged through eliminations before finally taking the Winter Nationals victory when Kenny Safford had mechanical problems in the final round. Within 2 years, the front-engine dragster was a thing of the past, and rear-engine top-fuel cars have been the category mainstay ever since. Jim Dunn had competed in a vast array of NHRA categories throughout the early years of his drag racing career. When rear-engine dragsters emerged as the future of top-fuel racing in the early 1970s, Dunn decided he'd apply that theory to funny cars, and soon had constructed 2 rear-engine fuel coupes built with Woody Gilmore chassis and powered by 392 cubic-inch Chrysler Hemis built by the Dunn and Reith Race Shop. Dunn's rear-engine funny cars were extremely temperamental beasts, to be sure, required an enormous amount of driving skill to control on the drag strip, and rarely made a full pass. But in November of 1972 at the NHRA Super Nationals at Ontario Motor Speedway in Ontario, California, Dunn's ingenuity and driving talents were finally rewarded when he powered his rear-engine Plymouth Cuda to the funny car honors, beating Pat Foster and Barry Setzer's Vega in the final round, and making NHRA history by becoming the first and only driver to date to win an NHRA national event in a rear-engine funny car. As the 1970s began, top fuel racers in the NHRA were sneaking up ever closer to the sport's first 5-second pass. Determined top fuel stars such as Big Daddy Don Garlits, Don the Snake Perdone, Gary Beck, and James Warren were all hoping to break the 5-second barrier and add their names to the growing list of NHRA performance pace setters. It was at the NHRA Super Nationals at Ontario Motor Speedway in Ontario, California in 1972 that the sport's first 5-second top fuel pass took place. Not by any of the aforementioned drivers, but by Mike Snively, driving the beautifully prepared top fuel dragster owned by Diamond Jim Annan. It was in the semifinals that Snively blasted into the fives with his 5.974-second run. But on that run, Snively lost to Vic Brown on a hole shot. Later on, Don Moody wound up winning event honors when he beat Brown in the final. But it was Mike Snively who will go down in history as the first top fuel driver ever to ring up a 5-second run. Recognized as the greatest drag racer of all time, Big Daddy Don Garlits helped to establish that esteemed position thanks to his incredible performance at the NHRA World Finals in Ontario, California in 1975. Garlits had already established the then national elapsed time top fuel record of 5.78 seconds coming into the event, a record which had survived for 2 years. Heading into the last race of the season, Garlits was trailing Gary Beck by a substantial margin for the 1975 World Championship. It was during qualifying that Big Daddy stunned the drag racing world when he uncapped the stupendous 5.63 second ET in his Swamp Rat 22 dragster, and backed it up later in eliminations with a 5.65, followed by a 5.67. Garlits went on to win the race, the Top Fuel Championship. His 5.63 remained the NHRA Top Fuel national record for no less than 7 years. Plus, he set a new top speed record of over 250 miles per hour. In his post-race interview, Big Daddy had a surprising announcement for NHRA announcer Dave McClelland.
Well, I think that this is going to be it for me. I think I'm going to hang it up. I've got about 4 little match races left, and I'm going to finish those, and I think you won't be seeing me anymore.
Don, I got to tell you, I can't think of any man any greater in drag racing history. Here comes Herm Peterson, the guy you beat in the final. Herman?
It's no disgrace to lose to the best guy there is in drag racing, I'm telling you. Right there. Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Don, we've been trying to talk you into retiring for about 5 years, and I know you wanted this title, and I couldn't tell you how proud we are that you got it.
Well, thank you, Wally.
The hard
Thank
way.
you.
Just happy with you. I know we're going to be seeing a lot of you because you can't stay away, even if you're not driving.
There you go. There you go. Thank you.
Luckily, Garlits reconsidered that decision and went on to race and win for nearly 3 more decades. The 1975 NHRA World Finals in Ontario, California will be remembered as one of the greatest national events in drag racing history, thanks in part to the blistering performance of Don the Snake Prudhomme in his U.S. Army-sponsored Chevy Monza funny car. Prior to that race, no funny car had ever made a 5-second pass in NHRA competition. The Snake qualified number 1 with his 6.15-second elapsed time, while making the sport's first 240-mile-per-hour funny car run. He later made 5-second history in the semifinals of eliminations with his 5.98-second shot while defeating Raymond Beadle in the Blue Max. Prudhomme ended 1975 with his first of 4 straight World Championships, the quickest and fastest runs in funny car history, and a World Finals win, giving him 6 wins out of 8 NHRA national events that year.
Congratulations to you. You backed up the 241. You've now got the record at that and the World Championship, the title here at this event. A great show.
Well, I got to say thank you very much, but I can't think of a finer operation in NHRA to run at a fine facility like this, like Ontario Raceway. It's probably got to be the best racetrack in the whole entire world.
Congratulations to you, Don, Wally Park.
That's just beautiful. I think you already know how proud we are of you. Everything that you've done here today just wrapped it all up beautifully.
Well, thank you very much, Wally. Thank you.
Get your congratulations from your crew.
Up until 1975, the NHRA lacked a major series sponsor and a uniform point structure to help determine a worthy category champion in Top Fuel, Funny Car, and Pro Stock through an equitable point system based on consistent performances over the course of a season. All of that changed when the 1975 schedule began as the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company signed on as the NHRA series sponsor, bringing millions of dollars in prize money and promotional power to the world's fastest motorsport. Being crowned a Winston champion became the major focus of every professional drag racer in the sport. The partnership between R.J. Reynolds and the NHRA lasted for 26 years, ending in 2001. After a mutually beneficial relationship which helped take the NHRA to new levels of popularity and visibility in the motorsports world. Shirley Muldowney's remarkable rise to the highest levels of drag racing achievement is a story which has been told many times. She is the most successful female racer of all time in any motorsport, and her 3 NHRA Top Fuel World Championships are indisputable proof of that. On June 13, 1976, at the NHRA Spring Nationals in Columbus, Ohio, Shirley accomplished what no other woman had ever done before in the sport of drag racing, when she confidently raced her way to the event Top Fuel title. She had been the runner-up at that same race a year earlier, but Shirley was dominant at the 1976 race, scoring low elapsed time of every round after qualifying number 1. In the final round, she made quick work of her opponent Bob Edwards, setting a new track record of 5.96 seconds at over 243 miles per hour in the process, and becoming the sport's first woman to win an NHRA Top Fuel National Event Championship.
What can I say? Just, I've got the greatest crew in the world. Ronnie Katz, Connie Coletta, Scott Coletta, my son.
Here they come, lady.
I know.
I don't think I have to say anything else. I don't think I have to say anything else. 5.96, not only the first woman to win a national championship, but she did it in style, she did it as a record setter. Absolutely incredible.
After winning his first of 4 straight NHRA Funny Car World Championships in 1975, Don the Snake Prudhomme entered the 1976 season with his aim squarely set on becoming the first funny car driver in history to win back-to-back titles. With an extremely reliable clutch setup giving him a sizable performance advantage over his opponents, Prudhomme got the season off to a winning start by taking the event title at the Winter Nationals in Pomona, California. Victories followed in Gainesville, Florida, Columbus, Ohio, Englishtown, New Jersey, and Montreal, Canada, before he suffered his first loss of the year at the U.S. Nationals in Indianapolis. But the Snake bounced back with wins in Seattle, Washington, and Ontario, California, ending the year with 7 victories out of the season's 8 national events, the first driver to do it, and his second straight championship, making the Snake's 1976 campaign one of the greatest season-long performances of all time.
You told me you were going to take a little bit of a vacation. This is not a bad way to get it going, is it?
Yeah, looks like we have a few bucks to do it with. It's kind of nice.
Don, we'll see you next season, and congratulations on a sensational season.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank the Army, too. They've really supported us.
Don Prudhomme, the winner of the 1976 World Finals, funny car category.
Despite winning 2 national events in Top Fuel in 1976, Shirley Muldowney missed a top 10 finish in the NHRA championship points that year. Her goal in 1977 was to make a serious run at the Top Fuel crown. And after a winless start to the season in Pomona, California, followed by the lack of victories in Gainesville, Florida, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Shirley went on a 3-race win streak, picking up victories in Columbus, Ohio, Englishtown, New Jersey, and Montreal, Canada. She took over the points lead following the Baton Rouge event and never relinquished it, ending the 1977 season with her first of 3 career NHRA Top Fuel championships, the first woman in any motorsport to win a title in a professional racing series. It is still considered one of the all-time greatest stories in drag racing history, the funny car final at the 1978 U.S. Nationals in Indianapolis, between 2 of the sport's true giants. Of all the great final rounds in U.S. Nationals history, the 1978 funny car final at the sport's biggest race may be the most memorable. Don the Snake Prudhomme, who had already won the U.S. Nationals in both Top Fuel and funny car and was on his way to the 4th of his 4 straight world championships, faced his good friend and business partner Tom the Mongoose McEwen, who had never won Indy, in that dramatic 78 finale. 2 weeks earlier, McEwen's 14-year-old son, Jamie, had passed away following a courageous battle with leukemia. Jamie had told his father before his death that he wanted him to win the U.S. Nationals and beat the Snake, despite the odds being heavily against him. As destiny would have it, Prudhomme and McEwen paired up in the funny car final, and McEwen pulled off the heart-wrenching victory when the Snake smoked his tires. At the end of the track, an emotional Prudhomme embraced the Mongoose as McEwen sat in his race car, still trying to comprehend what he had just accomplished in memory of his late son.
A very emotional moment down here. I've seen Don Prudhomme lose before, and it's usually a recluse. He gets in his truck, he leaves the racetrack immediately, talks to nobody. This is just a little bit different. As many times as I've been here, I have seen few moments packed with as much emotion as this one.
Tom McEwen, the winner of Funny Car, getting out of his Corvette. A tribute to McEwen and the perseverance as he defeated Don Prudhomme for the Funny Car title at the U.S. Nationals.
Bob Glidden has rightfully earned the honors as the greatest pro stock racer in NHRA history, winning 10 world championships, a mark which has still yet to be equaled. As an owner, driver, and engine builder, Glidden was a fearless and relentless competitor, no better exemplified by his phenomenal string of NHRA national event victories, which stretched over an entire calendar year. Glidden won the NHRA Summer Nationals in Englishtown, New Jersey in July of 1978, and then went on an incredible national event win streak, with victories at the next 8 races, which concluded at the Spring Nationals in Columbus, Ohio in June the following year, despite the fact that in 1979, Glidden switched from Ford to Plymouth.
Bob Glidden's error with the Plymouth was a classic case of Bob Glidden being a racer first and then brand loyal second. So for him to come out and run a Plymouth after running the Fords for all that time was almost a heresy for the folks that loved the blue oval things. Anybody at the time that thought Bob Glidden was not going to be competitive with that car did not know Bob Glidden. I mean, he would have run a Studebaker if it fit better into the rules and was going to be more competitive with it. Crushed everybody with a car again.
9 consecutive wins, sole possession of the Pro Stock points lead the entire time, and the NHRA Pro Stock World Championship for both 1978 and 1979.
And both drivers are ready for the green light.